Hariom everyone, welcome to this class on Kathopnishad. We'll start with the chanting first and then we can. I'll chant at my end, you can chant it yourself. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunatu Saha Viryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamast Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Om Ganana Ka Gantatigam Havamani Kavim Kavinam Gumashavastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspatana Shrimvan Mutivi Siddh Sadhanam Om Shri Mahaganpati Namaha Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhi Bhavatu Me Sada Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Reva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. So, welcome to this class on Kathopnishad. We are approaching the end of the text. This is the 35th class. So, we have two chapters here, two adhyay, with three sub-chapters each, Teen Valli. So, we are into the last chapter, last Valli. And in this, we have seen up till the 13th mantra, and the 14th we had just started. So, we'll continue from there. So I'll just share that onto the screen and then we can start with this. Yada sarve pramuchyante kama yesya hridhi sitaha atho matyo pito bhavati atra brahma samashnute. Yada sarve pramuchyante kama yesya hridhi sitaha atha matyo pito bhavati atra brahma samashnute. Atra brahma samashnute. So, yada sarve pramuchyante kama ye asya hridhi sita. So when all the desires, ye asya hridhi sita, kama ye asya hridhi sita, all the desires that are located within the heart of this sadhak, ye asya, this sadhak, yada sarve pramuchyante, when they are all given up, when they are all uh, releasing their hold upon him. Atha martyo amrito bhavati atra brahma samashnate. Then this mortal becomes immortal. It's not a becoming, but it's a realization. Atra martyaha amritaha bhavati. So now this martya, this mortal being, which who thinks of himself as trapped in this body, or who thinks himself as this body itself, he becomes Amrita Bhavati. He becomes immortal. Atra Brahma Samashnote. He therefore attains to Brahma. He attains to his true nature. Samashnute. Even here itself. So Atra meaning while he is alive, while living. So Atra Brahma Samashnute. So you don't have to go to some other loka or leave this body to be liberated, right? So liberation can be here and now, the moment realization dawns upon us. So this is, it has been explained here. So we have been looking at this thing in the previous class also. I was just telling you about the previous mantra where it was said that how someone who is experiencing Brahman with Upadhi, and also without Upadhi, they both are experiencing the same Brahman, right? So why we have to understand that why is it necessary to experience without Upadhi? बिना उपाधि के क्यों जानने की जरूरत है? We have this doubt because when you have seen gold as an ornament, then what is the need to see just gold? All the world is Brahman, and the names and forms and shapes are his as an like an ornament. They are his appearances, right? So why? So therefore, this is said in this mantra, Yada Sarve Pramuchyante. So when one has cleaned his heart of all desires, he becomes immortal. So this is answered that as long as we are seeing Brahman with Upadhi, as long as we are seeing that Upadhi, till then our attention will be towards Upadhi, right? You can just imagine, like, if you just see a lump of gold, is it that attractive then when it's shaped into a beautiful ornament? The ornament pleases you, right? It attracts you. So Upadhi is very difficult to give up, right? So you are seeing Brahman in everything. That is fine. You have reached that stage, but still attention is towards Upadhi. So therefore, the desires for objects also don't end very easily, okay? Because whenever you see any object, it is with this upadhi, or whenever you see Brahman, Brahman is with upadhi. So you will be attracted to the one with upadhi of cause and effect, and not to Brahman without it. There are so many bhakti saints also, no? They have said that I want to experience the Lord's face all the time, all my life in countless lifetimes. Tulsidas ji has said. So that is an expression of bhakti. It's not that he was not a jnani, but that feeling is representative of this very fact that someone is stuck, someone is still in wanting to be in upadhi. So this upadhi vision remains, right? This upadhi vision remains. So one who has this Paramatma darshan as nirvishaya nirupadhi, one who studies, one who understands, one who sees that this Paramatma, this Brahman is without name and form. So nirvishaya, without any object, and nirupadhi, without any kind of conditioning. For that person, he will have no desire. Sarve pramuchyante kamaha. All his desires will leave him. So yada here will mean for the person who will leave kamana. Yada means when, or it means for the person who is leaving kamna. So that person will have Paramatma, Paramarth darshan. Because what is this nature, if you think about it? What is the nature of kamna? What is the nature of desire? Bhagwan in Gita also says that this kamna is like anala. It is like agni. It's like fire. Because fire will never say, I have had enough wood. The whatever amount of wood you keep feeding into the fire, it will keep devouring it. So kamna also is the same. Desire is also the same. Kamna, even after fulfilling, it will not stop. So this person, he doesn't do vichara. He doesn't do analysis of the jagat, of the world, as only a giver of dukkha, or as a giver of sadness. So this feeling therefore doesn't go away, because he always keeps doing pravritti. He always feels himself as incomplete. He wants those objects. So therefore, as long as this fire is burning within us, no, this Kamagni, if Kamagni is burning within us, this tree of knowledge also will not give us shade. The tree of knowledge will not give shade to the person who is burning with desire inside. So if we say, then someone can say that you are telling me with Atma Jnanam, sorrow will go away, but mine isn't going away. Then the problem is Kamna has not gone. He's just heard the teaching, but the Kamna has not been gone. So all the Kamnas, all the desires are held in this Sukshma Sharira. The Sukshma Sharira is the vessel. It is the holder of all your Kamnas. So because of that, it carries you from one Kamna to another, and then in the same way from one birth to another. So one Kamna. So, there are so many, I told this story also earlier, like there are so many missiles of jnana and vairagya, but we have made our tank so strong that this jnana and vairagya, it is not able to affect us. We have become bulletproof. We have stopped being affected by this jnana and vairagya. So there was this story of this patent tank. The patent tank was used by the Pakistanis. It was given to them by the Americans. So Americans then found out that still they were dying. So then they did an analysis to find out, and they saw that these people, they were driving the tank, and from inside they could, from the instruments, know where they were going. But probably they were not so experts. So every once in a while they would open the hatch and come out. And then in that moment, the Indians would hit them with a grenade and they would die. So, because of this stupidity, this whole kavach, it was of no use. So, same way, the guru also is, we say, looking for that chance. No, till one is sitting within that kavach, within that boundary of desire, he can't be helped. Right? So, once that is removed, then only we can move on. So, Kamna has to be removed, right? So until and unless we remove, it's like, it's what we call a rose tinted glasses. So whatever be the color of those glasses, according to that, we see the world according to our Kamnas. So once we remove the glasses, or once we learn to understand that the world is not the way we see it through these glasses, we will not be able to go. So here in this mantra, basically, Brahma Vidya Phalam is mentioned. Atra Brahma Samushnate. In this mantra, as also in the next mantra, we see. So this, what is the phalam? What is the fruit? What is the final result of Brahma Vidya? That is liberation, right? Jivan Mukti. Freedom here and now. Atra Brahma Samushnate. So now the next question is freedom from what? Freedom from what? Certainly we are not referring to physical freedom, because physically we have to depend on the external world. Physically we have to depend on the world for fooding, clothing, shelter. No, that freedom is not going to be attained by you. So here the freedom that we are talking about is the inner freedom from mental problems of samsara. Every day we feel, someone said something wrong to me, someone hurt me in some way or the other, someone stole my credit, someone didn't give me the credit I deserved, or someone abused me for no fault of mine. Every day we hear these problems, but we have to realize that when we are on this path of spirituality, these things will come. They will come again and again. Yeah, because the world is stuck in that mental block of samsara, the whole world. Those who have not taken to this knowledge, they are all stuck. And they also want to drag you down. They also want you to drag. So whenever they see you, they will keep commenting, why do you waste your time doing all this? Why do you? So it is not easy to walk this path. Shurasya dhara nishita duratyaya. We saw in the earlier part of the text also. No? It's like walking on a razor's edge. So therefore, all these are varieties of symptoms of samsara. So many symptoms. And all of the forms of samsara, the main one highlighted in the scriptures is kamana. So kamana is the first offshoot of samsara. So because of this self-ignorance, because of this ajnanam, I take myself to be the mind-body complex, right? The body-mind complex. And I'm going to be limited all the time. So as we have this ahankar, this wrong notion that I can never be complete, I can never be purna. So because of ahankar, I will always be apurna. So agyan expresses in the form of apurnata. Apurnata means incompleteness, right? I am incomplete. I need something. Always, something lacking in my life, something missing in my life, something wanting. So what I want, it varies. What I want will be different. Today I want a book, or I want to watch a movie, I want to buy an expensive diamond. It will vary from time to time, whatever be my desire. But this apurnata will keep searching for newer and newer things. If I earn enough money, it will start looking for something. The world has everything for every budget. Someone can buy a bag for 100 rupees. Someone will buy a more expensive brand for 1,000 rupees. That's similar, even a slightly better quality. A big brand like Louis Vuitton will sell you the same thing in lakhs, 20 lakhs, 50 lakhs, same purse. So therefore, there is no limit. However much money you make, the world will invent ways to make you spend it. Right? So there is no limit to the desires. So therefore, whatever I don't know, I will try to remove this limitation by acquiring, right? So therefore comes the trial and error method of experimentation. We have this trial and error method. Get this, get that, get rid of this, get rid of that. All the time we are experimenting. कि शायद ये मिलने से मेरी अपूर्णता कम हो जाए, या ये चले दूर हो जाने से मेरी अपूर्णता चली जाए. So I will keep having this constant struggle for Purnatvam. So, if I'm doing something in my life, how I have to do, what I have to do to walk this path, I have to shift my vision. And what is the vision? The vision of freedom. And freedom is defined what? In which way? Freedom is defined as freedom from the struggle to be complete. I don't want to acquire anything for the sake of completion. I don't want to acquire something so that I will feel complete. I don't do anything for the sake of completion. And if at all I'm doing something in my life, it is not for the sake of completion, but it is out of completion. I am complete. Aham purna. So when I acquire something for the sake of completion, it is called binding desire कि मुझे पूरा होना है तो बाहर से कुछ लेके आऊंगा खुद को पूर्ण करने के लिए. I have to be complete. So I'll bring something from outside to complete myself. And when I do things out of completion कि मैं पूर्ण हूँ, then that is called a non-binding desire. That desire will not bind us, right? So non-binding desires you can have any number, but binding desire is called samsara, and it is this binding desire that goes away, and this is called Jivan Mukti, and that is why Bhagwan Krishna borrows this in the chapter also, in I think second chapter around 50, 55. Prajahati yada kama sarvan partha manogatan. So when you give up Prajahati yada kaman, all your desires, hey Partha, then only you will be able to reach this fulfillment. So this is Krishna Bhagwan's addition. So I give up not because the grapes are sour. That philosophy is not that way. It is not like that. I am full and therefore I don't require it. मैं पूर्ण हूं इसलिए मुझे नहीं चाहिए विष्णु, इसलिए नहीं कि मुझे मिल नहीं रहा. So that is said in here, यदा हृदि श्रिताः कामा अस्य सर्वे प्रमुच्यन्ते. When all the desires located in the mind, here hridhi means the mind. It is in a way the heart is the direct translation, but for the sake of the spiritual person, for in our scriptures we use the heart for the antakaran. The antakaran or the manaha. So sarve means all the desires, including the desire for moksha. All the desires, they have to be removed. So desire for moksha is also gone because the jnani has understood that I need not get moksha. So मोक्ष के लिए नहीं प्रयत्न करना है because I am nitya mukta swarupa. Therefore he doesn't even have moksha ichha, and naturally atha martya amrita bhavati, such a person becomes immortal. So he becomes freed from the cycle of immortality. So there, what the modern cycle, the punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, that cycle he gets out. So what is the logic behind it? We have seen in Gita also is there that next birth is decided according to the desires. हमारी कामनाओं के अनुसार ही अगला जन्म हमारा होता है. यम यम वापी स्वरण भावम त्यजन्ते कलेवरम. Whatever be the bhava that is there when you are giving up the body, त्यजन्ते kalevaram, this body when you are giving up, that bhav will carry in a search for the next body. So in Munda Upanishad also there is a mantra which says that whatever kamna person dies with, he will be born with the same kamnas or the body where he can fulfill those kamnas. So in the case of a jnani, the काम अभाव काम निमित्त पुनर्जन्म अपि नास्ति. He has no काम. The kamna is gone. Therefore, there is no punarjanma. And if punarjanma is not there, punarmaranam is also not there. In short, he is beyond the birth, death cycle. Therefore, martyah amritah bhavati. The mortal becomes immortal. So here also we have to note that it is not that the mortal becomes immortal. It is not the mortal, this body. Because finite can never become infinite. जो सीमित है वो कभी भी असीम नहीं बन सकता. So mortal becomes immortal means the one who thought himself to be mortal. जो अपने आप को समझता था, who thought himself to be immortal, now knows he is immortal. Therefore, travel from mortality to immortality is the travel from ignorance to knowledge. Ignorance to knowledge. ज्ञान अज्ञान से ज्ञान का रास्ता है. So it is not a physical travel. कहीं जाना नहीं है. We don't have to reach somewhere. But it is an intellectual travel from the notion that I am mortal to the knowledge that I am. To the knowledge that I am immortal. So when will he get that immortality? Atra Brahma Samushpate. So he attains that Brahman here and now. He becomes one with Brahman, which means he drops the notion. He drops the notion that Brahman is something else, somewhere else, available, some being that I have to reach or some loka. So this is all about dropping the notion. So becoming immortal means dropping the notion that I am mortal. Becoming one with Brahman is dropping the notion that Brahman is away from me. Brahman se alag hai. So, and by dropping that notion, he becomes one with Brahman here and now. And this is very important to be noted because Yama Dharmaraja says moksha is even while we are alive. So this we always emphasize because in certain other systems of philosophy, moksha is not a benefit here. They say that there will be all the people will go to this place where there will be judgment, there will be a judgment day, or there will be Qiyamah, and then all the souls will rise from the bodies with their bodies, and then they will be judged, and those some of them will go. So we don't have, what we call. Dayanand Swamiji used to say that all other religions are tourism promoters. So he used to say, everyone they are promoting some tourism which is not even known to you. How will you believe them? So Advaita alone says, moksha you don't need to go anywhere. After death, moksha is here and now. This is called Jivan Mukti. This is the benefit of knowledge. This is Brahma Vidya Phala. So then we move on to the next one. 15 verse. So similar thought is expressed here. Yada sarve prapidyante vidasye granthayah atha madhyamrito bhavati etadvadyanuशासनम yada sarve prapidyante vidasye iya granthayah atho madhyo amrito bhavati etavadyanuशासनम. So yada sarve prapidyante. So when all the granthaya, all the knots of the heart, hridasya iha, are cut asunder. Prabhityante. Vedna means to pierce. Pierce. किसी में hole कर देना. So it means here it means to break. काट देना. It means to cut. So when all the knots of the heart are cut asunder, they are cut into parts or they are destroyed. So when all the knots of the heart are destroyed, this is the all the problems that we have within us, they are removed. So then, atha martyo amrito bhavati etad anushasanam. So then the mortal becomes immortal. This alone is the teaching. Etad anushasanam. Anushasanam means to teach. To teach. Anushasan we understand to discipline someone. And normally that is the, but it basically means to teach. Teach something. So अनुशासन में भी आप किसी को सिखा रहे हो कि ऐसे चलना है. This is how you. So that is what the meaning. So again here, this as I told, this verse is almost a repeat of the previous one only. So in this, the same thought is repeated that the Hriday Granthi have to be. So Kamna is the Hriday Granthi, or you can say. Because this Brahma Vidya Phalam is being presented here, this Hriday Granthi Nash is a very often used technical word. So here Hriday Kama Nashaha. That is the meaning of Hriday Granthi. So Granthi means basically knot, any knot. So we have seen this earlier also. Vidyate Hriday Granthi, Chidyate Sarva Sanshaya, Shiyante Chasit Karmani. So this we have seen, Granthi means the knot. What do you mean by knot? Shankaracharya Bhagwan says, ignorance is the knot in the heart. Agyan hi granthi hai. Agyan is the knot. So Hriday Granthi means Agyanam or ignorance. And why is it called a knot? Shankaracharya says, it is like a knot because it has become very firm. Because which cannot be easily removed. You would have seen, sometimes when you put some wires in some drawer with a lot of stuff, and when you take them out, untangling them takes a lot of time. Sometimes it becomes impossible. You really have to cut the wire. It becomes useless. So that is why these knots are like something that are very difficult to entangle. Why? Because so many janmas. कितने जन्मों से ये उलझी पड़ी है ना. So that so here he says a knot which has been for a long time we will not be able to remove. It is a very knotty knot. And therefore hridayatvat dridhatvat granthi iti uchyate. So we can also take another meaning. So a knot is something that joins two things together. दो चीजों को जोड़ती है. So either two pieces of rope joined together or any two things that are tied together. एक साथ उनको जोड़ दो. So symbolically, like even a wedding is like a knot. A wedding में knot is a joining of the husband and the wife with the three knots. So in Vedanta, knot is ignorance, because of which I, the Atma, becomes associated with the mind-body complex. So this Chaitanyam is getting associated with Jada. That is the Granthi. Chit, Jad, Granthi. That is what it's called. The consciousness gets associated with the non-consciousness or non-sentient, so that now the non-sentient appears sentient. ये शरीर लगता है कि चेतन हो गया. So that is the Granthi. So because of that, the properties of consciousness are imposed on this mind and body. The mind and body take on the properties. So this is the Hriday Granthi. The Atma and Anatma Granthi. It is called what we call Anya Adhyas. With very close proximity, two things take on the properties of each other, right? या शरीर को चेतन मान. So therefore, whatever be the attributes of the body, I take it as my attributes. I am fat, I am thin, I am lean. So whatever you can say, ahamkar vritti or ahamkar mamakar granthi, these are all the granthis. So all these knots of the heart are, what does happen? So this jnani pravidyante, they are broken for good. Because why? Their abhiman is dropped. The abhiman, that I am the body, that is dropped. So sarve granthaya hridayasya prapidyante. And as a result of that, what happens? Athaha martyaha amritaha bhavati. As a result of this section of this knot, this so-called mortal jiva becomes immortal. So again, the principle is the same. When I am identified with the body, I claim the mortality of the body as my mortality. शरीर मर जाएगा तो मैं भी मर जाऊंगा. That is what is our normal. So we are so fearful of that, no, of this death. But once I, as a jnani, disidentify from the body, I look upon the mortality of the body as the body's mortality. I will not use the word I in place of the body. मैं मर गया नहीं, शरीर मर गया. So I say body is mortal, but I am not mortal. So because mortality itself is not samsara, but abhiman in that mortality alone is samsara. You read, no, sometimes in newspapers, some obituary has come, koi mar gaya. So do you feel that pain? Do you feel any kind of reaction? You don't. It's someone else. No? It is, you don't have any connection. Usme abhiman nahi hai. You don't have that what we call ownership of that person or the relation with that person. So it doesn't affect us all. So it is now that it is not that the mortality affects, in fact, that we can talk, when we hear about these things, we can say, जातस्य ही ध्रुव मृत्यु, ये तो होना ही है, जीना मरना चलता रहेगा. But one day we all have to go. So why we not accept the same mortality when it happens close by? Only because I have got abhiman. I have got abhimanam in that person or more in myself. That is the more. So therefore, mortality is not the problem. Abhimanam in that mortality alone is the problem. So Jnani doesn't have this identification with the mortality. Atha amrita bhavati. Therefore, he becomes immortal. He drops the idea that I am mortal. And then Yamadharmaraja concludes by saying, Etavat hi anushasanam. That much alone is my teaching. This is the conclusion of the teaching. So you have asked for Atma Vidya through your third moon. I have very elaborately taught from the first chapter, around the first chapter, second section onwards, the whole Atma Jnana teaching has started. Right? And then in the second chapter is the fixing of that thought. So that is happening. So with this mantra, I am concluding this teaching. Etavat Anushasnam. So now the Upanishad is going to be wound up with the next three mantras. They are also very interesting mantras. Please tell about the level of the knowledge that our ancients had. Today, we are, you can Google this figure when we'll come to this, and then you can check how close it is. शतं चैका च हृदस्य नाड्यः तासां मूर्धानाम् अभिनिश्चितैकाः तयोर्धमन्याममृतत्वमेति विश्वङ्गन्या उत्क्रमणे भवन्ति. अस्तु. शतं चैका च हृदस्य नाड्यः तासां मूर्धानाम् अभिनिश्चितैकाः तयोर्ध्वमान्यन् अमृतत्वमेति विश्वङ्गन्यया उत्क्रमणे भवन्ति. So shatam cha eka hridayasya nadaha. So there is one main nadi that is coming from the heart, ekaha. From that 100 nadis emerge, and our tasa murdhanam abhinisrita eka, of them towards the crown of the head. This passes one of them. This is the sushumna nadi, we call it. The head, top. Urdhva means upwards. So, Taya Urdhvam Ayan Amritatvam Iti. Going up through that channel, one gets immortality. Vishwa Kanya Utkramane Bhavati. Others, they have different direction. So now this, it is mentioned here, and in others also, in the Prashna Upanishad, it said that further this 70, each of these 100 branches, they have 72,000 branches, sub-branches. So 72 lakh nadis. And then each of them has another 1,000. So almost 7 billion nerves we have. And each of the nerves has associated with it a blood vessel. Sab ek saath chal rahe. So you can see the level of intricacy that is mentioned. Of course, here it is not given in full detail. But other texts it is given more detail. So they knew the ancients all these divisions. We know today the 100 nadis that are emerging from the heart. We have names for them also. So in the previous two mantras, so Yamadharmaraja has presented this in Brahma Vidya Phalam. So Brahma Vidya, till then Brahma Vidya is the teaching, which was asked in the third book. So now he is asking to go back to the second book. We might have forgotten, but Yamadharmaraja remembers the second book. So what was the second book? It is about the Nachiketa ritual. Nachiketa Agni bataya na? The Nachiketa Agni was there. So with that Agni ritual is not a mere ritual, but it is a ritual combined with meditation. Upasana sahit karma. Or you can say karma sahit upasana. Or in technical language, you use the word karma upasana samuchaya. So it's karma upasana samuchaya. So this ritual is called Nachiketa ritual, Nachiketa Agni ritual. And the upasana is called Virat upasana, seeing the Lord in every fiber of the universe. So therefore this meditation is upon that very Agni, the fire in which the ritual is done. So this second boon appeared in the first chapter, first section, from mantra 12-13. So Lokadim Agnim Tapuvaj Tasmai Sa Ya Ishtaka Yavati Tha Yathava. So he was talking about how the Ishtika, how the bricks have to be arranged. So we saw there also that Ishtika represents how we do a homa and arrange that. But it also represents, Ishtika represents our ichhas, our desires, how we have to arrange our desires so that we can live well in the world. So therefore, this karma upasana, samuchaya we have to do. We have to, if we have to attain this upasana phalam. So if you have seen any of you, if you do any chanting, so when you do any chanting like Vishnu Sahasranam or Shiv Manastotra or Purush Sukta we are doing. So whenever you chant any of these, you will get some phalam just from chanting, right? So you chant this dhyana shloka, even mechanically, you will get some good phalam, you will get some benefit. So you say, when you start chanting, you say atha dhyana. Atha dhyana. You say, so when you do that atha dhyanam, then what happens? You reach the next stage, upasana. So in upasana, what happens is, this mantra that you are reading, it is giving you a description of the deity, and you visualize the deity from that. So from that you visualize the deity. So now you say meditation, and with that the deity appears in your mind. So if you are doing Shiv Manas Puja, so Shiv Bhagwan will appear in your meditation. So mentally, whenever you chant, this deity will come. So now here what is happening is Dhyan becomes Upasana. Initially it was just Dhyana, or you can say Karma, and then it becomes Upasana. So therefore it will become Karma Upasana Samuchaya. Otherwise it was just Karma when we were chanting. So with Karma can give benefit, right? Whenever we are just chanting a Vedic verse, it will increase my mental capacity. Those vibrations will give me lots of benefits. But if I associate that with a deity, किसी देवता के साथ जोड़ देते हैं, then the power, that the result is even more powerful. So therefore, Dharmaraja here wants to say that what is the phalam? Krama Mukti. What is this Krama Mukti? It comes from Karma Upasana Samuchaya, when we do chanting with the visualization of this deity. So what this will be, this will be the goal of what we call the Upasak. He is not yet a Jnani, so he is an Upasak. So he will not gain direct knowledge. He has not got knowledge from Guru. So, but because he is an Upasak, through that at the time of the death, through Murtha, his soul will leave the body. So for the person who is an upasak, जिसने जीवन भर उपासना की है, उसकी आत्मा यहाँ से निकल के जाएगी. His सूक्ष्म शरीरम will leave from this side, from the Murtha, and he will go to Brahma. He will go to Brahmalok. And there, Brahmaji will himself give him jnanam or teaching directly. So it is not easy. Upasana is tougher. It is not as jnana is tough, but upasana is even tougher in some ways, because you have to do it lifelong. So when you do this lifelong upasana, then you go out through the Sushumna Nadi and through the Brahmarat. You go out through the Brahmarat. And then you will go to what we call the Shukla Gati. We go to the, because in Mahabharata also, Bhishma Pitama waited for the Uttarayan. The Uttarayan is the time when the Shukla Gati path opens. So he waited so that he would travel on time. So even though he was a Jnani, but Jnanis are humble. So he felt, if I am not a Jnani, I would at least prefer go via this, where I can go to the Brahmalok. Yes.
Is it necessary to make it right?
That is what I am telling. This is not for Jnana. This is for Upasana. This path is for Upasana one. The person who is doing Upasana. So if some...
It is necessary.
Yeah. So someone who is an Upasak, he will finally leave his prana through the Brahmaratna. His life force will pass out through the Brahmaratna. And then he will go to the Brahmalok, where he will finally get mukti. Right? But for other upasak, someone who's not done full upasana, he will be again born. He will again be born. So this person who is going to Brahmalok, he'll be getting the teaching from Brahmaji, and there he will get the same jnanam that he's getting here. Aham Brahmasmi iti jnanam. So through that knowledge, he will get Jivan Mukti in Brahmalok, and ultimately what we call Videha Mukti at the end of the life. When he gives up the body, then he will go for this Brahmalok. So Upasak will get what we say Krama Mukti. Kram means actually sequence, right? Sequence. So he's not getting Mukti right here and now, but sequentially after death, right? So suppose a person does only karma without upasana, then he will not travel through the Sushumna Nadi. Someone who's doing only karma, he will be purified enough, but he has not done upasana, so he will not go. So he will go out through the other nadis. He will go through other nadis to other lokas. So many nadis, from there you can go to so many different lokas. And through the other nadis, the Sukshma Shariram will come out, and that what we call the Karmi Jiva will again be born depending upon the type of karma, right? So we have these three possibilities. The first possibility is doing only karma. So he will retain his kamanas, desires. So he will go to another one. Punarapi Janana, Punarapi Manna. Second, Upasak, he has not got knowledge, but he has such a fierce worship of the Lord So because of that, the Lord is fixed in his mind even at the time of the death, right? So it is said that when the thought of the Lord is with you at the time of death, then you go to this Shukla Gati. But it does not mean that you think you will remember him only at the end. It has to be lifelong process. Otherwise, you will forget. In that pain, it is an extreme pain. It is known to those who was gone, so no one can describe it, right? But then that extreme pain is there. You can see, any other pain, we don't die. So it has to be something very extreme from which we will die. So therefore, someone who in that pain can remember the Lord will have to have a lifelong sadhana behind it. So therefore, this second person will go through upasana through the Sushumna Nadi. And the third is the Jnani. For the Jnani, it doesn't apply. None of this applies. He will go directly. He will be liberated as soon as he gives up the body. But as we said, Atra Brahma Samushrate. He will be liberated here and now also, right? So therefore, this karma jnani, the upasak ajnani, and then the jnani. So these two. Out of these, the upasak ajnani also will ultimately go for jnana. So this is the result. So shatam cha eka cha hridasya nadaya, from the hridayam, the heart, 101 nadis emerge. One is the Sushumna nadi, and its branches are these 100 nadis, spreading all over the body. So these are the pradhan nadis, these are the main nadis. Then there are the smaller nadis, which we say 72,000 of these from each of them. Tasameka. So out of these all sub branches also emerge. So the main one, where does it go? Murdhanam abhinisritaha. That that one goes only from the top of the head. So it emerges out of the heart and goes through the middle of the neck, head, and opens to the top of the head. Urdha means crown. Urdha means the top of the head. And Abhinisrita, it opens up on the top. It releases. So that opening is called Brahmaratna. And what happens to this Virat Upasak who combines with the Nachiketa ritual? Taya Urtvam Ayan. That Upasak emerges out at the time of the death through this special Sushumna Nadi and goes to this path called Shuklagati, which we saw. Or you can say the Devyanam, the Devyan path. And Amritatvam Eti, the Upasak also later on attains immortality. He attains moksha also, which is Krama Mukti. And what about the rest? Anyanadaha, the Sukshma Shariram of the non-Upasak will merge out through the other nadis. And what is the peculiarity of these other nadis? This particular nadi is waiting out. This particular nadi is waiting out. It will, the Sukshma Sharir will shoot out of these nadis and it will go to the goal that it has set for itself. So these are all Vishwak, sideways. ये सारी नाड़ियां जो है विश्व है. So these are all sideways, not going outward. So therefore they will take us to the sideways lokas. Okay. So they will lead what we say utkramane bhavanti. They will lead to the non-upasak who is a mere karmi to emerging out to the other lokas. So punarjanma karanani bhavanti. They will become the reason for his Punarjanma. So in this context, Utkramana refers to Punarjanma. Utkraman means cleaving of the body, but it means Punarjanma also. So the cycle will continue. And then continue with the next one. Kushtamatra Purushottaratma Sada Jananam Hridaye Sannivishtaha Tam Swacharirat Pravrihen Munjadi Divesham Sikam Dhyarenu Tam Vidyat Shukram Amritam Miti Ankushtamatra Purushottaratma Sada Janana Hridaye Sannivishtaha Tam Swacharirat Pravrihen Munja Diveshikam Dhyarenu Tam Vidyat Shukram Amritam Miti. So we are approaching the conclusion of this this portion, right? So in this the 17th verse we have sorry So Angushta Matra Purusho Antaratma. This Purusha, the size of a thumb. Angushta Matra, the indwelling self, Antaratma. Sada Jananam Hridaya Sannivishta is ever seated in the hearts of the men. And Tam Swat Sharirat Pravirge. One should separate him from one's body. How? Munjat Iva Ishikam Dharyena. So unerringly, like a stalk from the munja grass. So there is a grass, the munja grass, in which in between is a very soft, long part, which if you want to, see or touch, you have to take it out very carefully. The so this he has to take out. So tam vidyat shukram amritam. So someone who knows this truth, who sees the indwelling atma hidden within the folds of this body, he will become Shukram Amritam. He will become pure and immortal. And it is repeated here because it is important. So Tam Vidya Shukram Amritam Iti. Once more. So this Atma one should know as pure and immortal. So this is what is the concluding statement, you can say, of the Upanishad. So now we have seen here that Yamadharmaraja is concluding the teaching with the you could say that there was one more mantra before. So if you think that that is the conclusion, so he says, no, don't think that Krama Mukti was the final step. So he's coming back to the original teaching also. So because if he concludes the entire teaching with Krama Mukti, the students will remember only the last point in the teaching. Therefore, he doesn't want to conclude with Krama Mukti. So therefore, once again, he comes to the Brahma Vidya Thalam. So that the student will remember that Jivan Mukti is the final goal rather than Krama Mukti. That was just the point that was not clarified. He has clarified. Yeah. So therefore, once again, Brahma Vidya Phalam is reiterated, or you can say reascertained in this mantra. So for that purpose, it is summarized Angushta Matra Purushaha Antaratma. So there is this Antaratma or the inner self, which is Angushta Matra, as though the size, not actually, as though the size of the thumb. And why it is called Angushta Matra, we have seen earlier also, because in the second chapter, we have those two verses, second chapter, 12th and 13th verses. So, Angushta Matra Purusho Madhya Atmani Tishtati, or Angushta Matra Purusho Jyotiriva Adhumaka Tishtati. So, this Antaratma is here called Purushaha. Purusha because dwelling within the body, we saw. Purishete iti Purushaha. And so, also it goes beyond the body also. So, Sada Jananam Hridaye Sannivishta. So that Atma is very much present in the heart or in the Antakaranam. It is in the center or the mind of everyone. And how is this Atma present? As the consciousness witnessing every thought. जो भी सब इनको देख रहा है, विचारने वाला. So witnessing everything, it is even witnessing the absence of thoughts, not just thoughts. So in the form of consciousness, Atma is there, mixed with inside the Anatma Shariram. It is mixed with the Anatma. And what is this Brahma Vidya? Brahma Vidya is basically separating the Atma from its container. Separating the Atma from its container. So, because they are mixed together. So, remember the example of that light and hand we saw, no? So, consciousness pervading the body is a totally distinct entity that one has to understand. Therefore, pravrihed. One should segregate, separate, or discriminate, which is called vivek. We saw earlier, Atma, Anatma vivek, or Sharir, Shariri vivek, or Drigya, Drishya vivek. So this discrimination we have to do, but it cannot be physically done. We have to remember. Just as you cannot scrape off the light from the hand. You can't use a knife to cut off the light from the hand. So light and the hand are together. So separation is not a physical process. It is an intellectual process, or one of understanding. You can never physically separate consciousness and matter, right? And since it is an intellectual, or you can say a cognitive process, it requires a very subtle intellect, sukshma. So, and therefore it should be done very, very carefully. Otherwise, you will imagine one day that you have pushed aside your body and you are sitting like Atma, and you will be in a state where you will remain as pure consciousness. Don't imagine. It is not going to happen. And don't imagine any such avastha, because in any avastha, consciousness and matter will be together, right? So even in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, your mind is present in dormant form. Mind is present, but in dormant form, or you can say negated form. So where there can never be any physical freedom from matter. Therefore, you cannot physically separate. You have to intellectually separate. Prabrihet dharyed, very alertly. Like what? Munjat ishikam eva munja. So we saw that it's a type of grass, and within that grass there is an inner portion which is called ishika. Very, very tender, soft, and difficult to take out, and hidden. So, and if you have to separate the inner tender portion from the munja grass, you have to do it very carefully, because this munja also, it has a very sharp edge. Hmm. I don't know if you have been on an elephant safari in some of these, like we go to Kaziranga here, you have these tall grasses. So if you see, you can take that out and take that ishika from that. Or, when we were younger, I remember another more apt example. If you have played with flowers, so you have the petals, sepals, and in between you have the stamens and the pistil, right? The stamens are the ones that get pollinated. And then the pistil is the female part, the ovary in between. So that is like a long pipe. And then inside that is a very small, very thin, fine like strip. You can take it out if you do it very, very carefully. We used to do that. No? We used to try and take it out and see if we can take the whole out without breaking it. So that kind of, so basically what is being said here, it is a very delicate process, right? Separating the Atma from the Anatma. So without cutting yourself, you have to take it out. You have to separate the Atma from the Anatma. And how? By Dhairyena. So Dhairyena is not just courage. Dhairya means by Vivek. Very, very carefully or very cautiously. So, and having separated the Atma from Anatma, which is we call in technical terms, Tvampad Vivekaha, knowing the nature of my own inner self, right? So then what happens? Tam Shukram Amritam Vidyat. One should know that consciousness is nothing but Brahman, which is described in the Upanishad. So Shukram means Shuddha, pure, and Amritam means Nitya. So there we have to clearly understand that Shuddham Nityam Brahman is not sitting somewhere else. I, the witness consciousness, am Brahman. This is called Tata Pada Ekyam. And therefore it is a Mahavakya mantra. So first separate yourself from the body, then identify yourself with Brahman. That disidentification from the body and identification with Brahman is Vedanta. It is the basic core of Vedanta. So that is why, even if you have this Chin Mudra. So Chin Mudra is what? These three fingers represent the three bodies, right? Sthul Sharir, Sukshma Sharir, Karan Sharir. And this is the Jiva and Paramatma. So they come to form a round circle. Circle represents, in a way, infinity, right? Circle represents zero, or you can say infinity also. So beyond limitation. Because in a circle, there is no starting point and there is no ending point. So this is the Brahma Vidya, which will give us Jivan Mukti. So one should work for Jivan Mukti. This is repeated again and again, twice here. So therefore, to say that this is the important part of the teaching. Right? And then the final mantra, this is just a glorification of, again, Nachiketa. Vidyu Proktam Nachiketo Lapva Vidyam Etam Yoga Vidhim Chakristam Brahma Prapto Virajo Bhudu Vidyuhu Anyopeva Yo Vidhatmeva Vidyo Proktam Nachiketo Athalaktuva Vidyam Etam Yoga Vidhim Chakristam Brahma Prapto Virajo Bhuda Mrityu Anyo Apyeva Yo Vidhatmeva. So in this way, after listening to this Upadesha, this teaching, Nachiketo Atha Laptava, Nachiketa, after listening to this teaching from Yama Dharmaraja, what he has done is, after listening to this knowledge, this has been Atha Labdva, this knowledge he has obtained. Vidyam Etam Yoga Vidhim Cha Krishnam. This knowledge of the self, as also the Yoga Vidhi, the process of yoga, Nachiketa has learned. Brahma Prapta Virijaha Abhut vimrityu. As a knower of Brahman, Brahma praptaha, as an attainer of Brahman, free from all impurities. So he has become freed for always from the grip of delusion or death. Abhut vimrityu. He has become vimrityu without any death. Anya api evam yaha with adhyatmamam eva. So any other seeker to anya api, any other seeker to can become the same. He also can attain to this immortality that Nachiketas obtained. So if he knows the inner self in the same way, any other person can also attain to this knowledge. So Upanishad has come back to the stage where it is glorifying Nachiketas because he was a brilliant student who received this knowledge and got liberated. So that is said here. Nachiketa should be understood as Nachiketa etam Prithuproktam Vidyam Latva. Nachiketas attained this wisdom given out by whom? Yamadharmaraja. So, and not only did he learn this Vedant teaching or the what we can say the teaching in words, but in addition, yoga with him Chakrishnam. How to hold on to this knowledge, how to fix this knowledge in his mind. Yoga with him Krishnam. So Yamadharmaraja has taught him the yoga abhyas, which we saw in the last few verses, right? So which is required for the assimilation of the teaching. So this nididhyasanam artham, having acquired the wisdom, Brahma prapta virajaha vimrityu. He became one with Brahman, Brahma praptaha virajaha vimrityu, and therefore he gave up death. And virajaha, shining, he became free of all impurities, and vimrityu, free from all mortality. So Upanishad wants to say that not only did Nachiketas get moksha, but anybody else who studies Kathopnishad can also get moksha. It is valid now also, right? Anyone can get. Anyo api evam with. Whoever knows evam with means to know. So anyone who knows in this manner this knowledge, or whoever receives the same wisdom from the same Upanishad in the same manner, in the form of Mahavakya, Aham Brahmasmiti. So the word evam and with you can join together to whoever knows thus, whoever knows in this manner. And then Adhyatmamam. So whoever gains this knowledge of the self. So there is no restriction. Age is not a restriction. Jati is not a restriction. Varna is not a restriction. Ashram is not a restriction. Male or female is not mentioned. It is not a restriction. So whoever gains this knowledge, so api evam yaha. The sentence is incomplete. You have to complete by adding. So api viraja san brahma prapya virmityu bhavati iti vakya sesha. So anyone who attains this knowledge will therefore be liberated. He will be removed from all the limitations, right? So then finally we chant the Shanti part that we saw in the beginning again at the end. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Vavidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari. Okay, so we have come to the end of this teaching. If you want, we can do one final concluding session later on. But the whole teaching has been summarized. So I want to thank all of you from the bottom of my heart who have given me this opportunity to talk to you about these things that I've learned from my teachers, my gurus, my inner inspiration, my Lord. So whatever I have learned, maybe my own weaknesses tend to disrupt or dilute the knowledge. So I seek forgiveness for that. I hope I have been able to convey whatever I learned in the proper manner. If there has been any mistake, that is all mine only. Right? And thank you so much for joining this. And we can continue maybe in the next class with a newer topic. We'll return with a newer topic for this. And for now, Om Purnamada Purnamidam Nat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः।